Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining today at BCB. And I'm delighted to start the conference with a project that is called MATS, that is how to break in the rules on the soft drinks category, in the tonic water particularly. As we know, normally this category has been always driven by kind of like the mainstream codes, and we use the design to really solve the issues of the category. What are the issues of the category normally? We will understand them, and we will see how we address them with outstanding design. So basically, we have these whole concepts that we want to start with: the square to the cube. What is the design with purpose? What is the eco-design? Because we've been talking a lot, hearing a lot, but normally sometimes it's misunderstood or it's greenwashing or things like that. And then the MATS tonic selling attributes that we are playing into the game. So first, probably it's this, that is a lot of noise in the industry, that we are talking about, normally hearing about premium. Okay, what is premium? It's just more expensive pricing, or what justifies the premium positioning? But as well, there is a lot of noise on eco, on vegan, fair trade, 0 kilometer, what is a B Corp, no? So there is a lot of attributes that I think that are confusing to the consumer, and we want to address that from a different point of view. So basically, when we have a brand with purpose, we can do a story doing and not a story telling. But in order to do that, we always have to have a centric consumer mindset. In order to do that, is basically going into the maximum, no? And basically doing the maximum exercise of sacrifice and overcome it. That is one of the mantras on a challenger brand category. So in this case, we really sacrifice and reset kind of like the soft drinks paradigm in order to reset the rules, no? So eco-design, what is the eco-design? Normally, in the linear mode, it's this way, that we extract, we produce, we consume, and then we produce waste. And the new paradigm shift is the circular mode, no? So we produce, we consume, we reuse, and we recycle, no? And recycle and reuse. So this is kind of like all the attitude and all the thinking that we apply when we were thinking like, okay, why we are entering in a soft drinks or tonic water category. So how we can change that, no? So basically, the brand essence of MATS and the starting point is solving pains, putting design as at core. So when you normally start a new product development, a company normally sees like, oh, this category is interesting because it's booming. There is a very interesting share of market that I can get. No, but in Curius, we do it absolutely the opposite. We see like, what are the pains on the category? And if we can solve the brains of that category is when we enter, and we use design as an element to solve those issues. So it's not an element of like normally design is treated as justifying your positioning, your premium pricing, or so on. Or basically a 1D aspect of the design. No, we use it as the core element. Then we have like the brand tagline that is never ordinary, because we've seen that everything that is done in soft drinks is very, as I said, mainstream and not caring, and sustainability normally is not in the core. Normally it's a problem that you try to justify and you try to solve at the end of the process. So that is normally not working, no? So brand attributes, we wanted to make a brand that is unmistakable, self-conscious, and iconic since the first time you've seen it. Normally you've seen a lot of brands, especially on the spirits and as well in the soft drinks, and they don't have that iconicity. It's like when you see MATS at the beginning, you will never forget that square bottle with the perforated label and things like that. That kind of singularity on the design is something that we are looking for, and to be self-conscious in that sense. And then in terms of brand attitude, is the challenger, witty, and sexiness on the packaging, no? So starting on what we design on MATS. So first of all, you will see that we are using post-consumer recycled glass. For that reason, you see that our bottle is kind of greenish. because all the stock is made from bottles, from glass coming from recycled wine bottles or car windscreens. So what we do differently is that we use 100% post-consumer recycled glass. So that means that depending on the oven, normally if the mix has more wine bottles, the output is more green. And when it's more car windscreens, it's more crystal clear. So we accept the tolerance on the greenness of the bottles. A brand like I don't know, Grey Goose or whatever, they always want the bottles look the same. We accept that tolerance on the greenness of the bottles, in order to be 100% post-consumer glass. So that is an interesting aspect that we do different compared to the competitors. Then, as well, we have the cosmetic defect admission. That doesn't need to be related to the structure of the bottle. Those cosmetic defect admission is like little bubbles that can appear in some of the production and so on. And if you accept that normally brands are not able to accept that, you become another 25% more sustainable, because it's bottles that are produced that doesn't go to the garbage or doesn't need to go again into the oven, keep producing energy in order to produce again the same bottle without that little bubble that is not going to change the world. So that is another thing. And if you are really committed on 100% post-consumer recycled glass, you should go all the way. Then using a post-consumer recycled glass, that gives you a lighter bottle, because that glass is lighter. And one of the big trends right now into the premium spirits and premium soft drinks is lighter bottles. Normally, like 10 years ago, when you grab a bottle of a good champagne, cognac, when it was heavier, it means that it was better. Now we are going against that. Now lighter bottles are more interesting, and specifically in a soft drink it's even more difficult, because you need to have a structure that really can hold the high carbonization. So that is kind of tricky in a bottle like this one. And as well, obviously, lighter bottles makes less CO2 footprint. And that is interesting. As well, when you see the packaging here, do that we don't have like long neck compared like the soft drinks that like Schweppes, Coca-Cola, and so on. You are not transporting air. As well, that lowers your CO2 footprint. So that is something that, for that reason, we have the square shape into mats. That has a reason why, and it's not only because it's beautiful. Then the 0% breakage. That is another attribute that really works on sustainability. Maybe you think, why? No? Because normally in soft drinks, especially now after post-COVID, there is a lot of important sales in e-commerce. So when you send a 4-pack with a bottle of Solari Gin or Giffard or Chihuahua or any other of your spirit, if the 4-pack of the tonic breaks, probably you are damaging the spirit bottle and you have to replace all the order, So in this case, for that reason, we have a packaging that everything is holding on, doesn't move, doesn't break, and we have a very solid structure, and for that reason, a cube is the most solid packaging that you can have. So another argument that where the design has a sense above that. Then the uniqueness, as I was telling you before, mats has that kind of uniqueness in terms of the design, and as well that gives you that shape, that perforated label, and other intrinsic aspect of the brand, like the pastel colors range, that gives you kind of like that idea that really sticks up in your mind, and you won't forget the brand that easily. Then the color messaging and easy to decode. Normally in this industry, we are so much sometimes trying to be the favorite brand of the bartender, and sometimes we tend to forget the consumer, that at the end has to be something easy for them. So in that sense, with mats, we have a code of the 4 SKUs that is very easy to decode and really easy to get. Indian, We have all in our hands, in our heads, the color of Schweppes, no, as a standard tonic water. So we go for yellow in that pastel color, but it's Indian. Mediterranean is the blue one, and we go with Mediterranean. We don't specify sage, rosemary, and basil. So we want to be kind of easy to get for the consumer. The same applies to the floral and to the spicy. So you really get kind of like those colors straight up in your mind. Then something that we like to play with this little Tetris, our bottles can stack in top of each other. So as well, even though that we are in retail or we are in a fridge in a bar, we can stack the bottles in top of each other, so at least we are saving 30% of the space. So that means a lot that, for instance, when we are selling in a supermarket, in the space of a 1 4-pack of any of the competition of the tonic water, then you can place 2 4-packs of mats. So that is a very powerful as well sustainable argument, because as well space is equal to footprint. Then all the 4-packs, as you can see, has the rounded edges as well. That is designed for when you sip it or when you have it in the retail environment. If there is any impact on the side, it won't be damaged and it won't be looking bad. So you don't have to replace the 4-packs again, no? That is something interesting. And as well, the 4-packs has those kind of, as we call it, the wings on the top. So avoids that the bottles come out into transportation. So again, that is a sense behind that. That is the rotation that I was meaning with the wings. So we are optimized for e-commerce logistics. And then as well, the concept that the consumer, when they takes it at the shelf, you can really grab it, and you can go for a gift or something. So it's something really nice and really handy in that sense. Then all the brand is crafted with superfoods. So as well, we are in that mentality of being sustainable as well for the body. After COVID, the people have switched the mentality more into the wellness mentality rather than the healthy. So we have superfoods in all the ingredients of mats. So we have lemongrass, for instance, in the Indian. We had red chili in the spicy. We have sage in the Mediterranean. And we have acai berries on the case of the floral one. And as well, we are very low, and we are working very low on sugar levels. As well, there is something that is a big pain now for the consumer, that doesn't want to have like soft drinks that are really high on sugar levels. We are working on very low sugar levels, and this is quite difficult, in order to have bold flavors without using stevia. And we managed to do that in the case of Matt's tonic water. And then, depending on the range, with just 4 SKUs, we don't need to produce like 20 SKUs like some of the soft drinks does. We can cover kind of all the categories. For instance, with the spicy, we can cover the agave category with all the trend on spicy palomas and so on. With the Indian, we can cover more the area of the gin and tonics. And with the floral, we can cover more the low ABV with the spritz, because you don't need to even add the Prosecco's plus and to the sodas plus. So just build it kind of like a gin and tonic, and it's much more simpler than that. As well, obviously, beyond a mixer for mixing it with gin, tequila, Amaro, rum, whiskey, and so on, could play as well perfectly as an adult soft drink. Sometimes one day you are not in the mood of drinking, and basically the options of not drinking are very boring, because normally you end up on Coke, on lemon, and blah, blah, blah. So actually with the spicy or with the Mediterranean, you can have a really nice adult soft drink in that sense. And then something that we are working beyond is the circularity collection of mats. So normally we are talking on that circularity aspect, but the brands are not doing nothing. So our labels, as we have in all the labels what is called the glue killer, you can remove easily the label, and what we are going to introduce in the same shape of the 4-packs, elements that fit, that the consumer at home, you can reuse your bottle and make the circularity happen, no? So we can do salt and pepper shakers. You can, with a speed putter, you can do oil or vinegar, or as well, even with some Mikados, you can use it kind of like a home perfume. As well, in some of the shows, we are bringing someone that is cutting the bottles live, and you can make your match bottle into a glass bottle, into a match glass of water and things like that. So we are really working on that aspect of story doing, as I mentioned at the beginning, because normally circularity is a big topic, but no one really has actions in order to do it. So basically, we are addressing that way. So basically, yeah. So this is the kind of like the wrap up or like the elevator pitch of what Matt's brand tonic water has. Stackability, recycled glass, made with wine bottles and car window screens and accepting different levels of greenish bottles, made with superfoods, low sugar, and as well optimized for e-commerce and for the new era of retail and so on. So basically, this is Matt's. We are literally launching right now the brand since August, and thank you for your time, and I pass to other speakers.